Thanks for joining All Chiefed Up. Your Kansas City Chiefs put on a dominant performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football in front of the world to see, showing that Patrick Mahomes is the best in the game still, regardless of what anybody wants to say. We don't need Tyreek Hill, and Tom Brady can just flat out suck it. Mike, let's get into the 5 observations that we noticed from the game tonight.
Okay, number one, we said Mahomes had to play better coming off that Colts loss. Tonight, Mahomes played better. My God, he was magical. He was beautiful. That first half, he had some plays that I didn't even think anybody could make, and Patrick Mahomes made it look so easy. Very decisive tonight. He looked awesome. Hats off to Mahomes. He looks good, man.
Yeah, he looked like Mahomes that we're used to seeing. He wasn't being hesitant. He wasn't hanging on to the ball too long. He did a couple times, but we're not going to talk about that because for the most part, he executed well. He took what the defense gave him, and that's been our gripe with him. But it worked perfectly. That defense couldn't really do much with him as long as he was hitting his 5, 6 yard, 8 yard passes. We were getting the ball in the playmakers' hands and letting them get yardage after the catch. And we've seen it time and time again with Juju and Kelsey and some other guys.
Yeah, so Mahomes went 23 for 37, 228 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He had that one pick it was bad. He missed some guys underneath. He tried to force it, but I mean the game was over at that point.
Right.
He did get sacked 3 times. 97.7 passer rating. So pretty good game. To go to your point, his average pass tonight 6.7 yards, which means he did take what the defense give him. He did get it to our playmakers. Yeah, he did what he had to do, and he looked pretty good tonight. And you've seen a Chiefs offense that looked very efficient and very dominant.
Yeah, it was great, and it even opened up some of the longer stuff. He did hit that one long pass to MVS. If he'll just be patient and make them guys come up and play honest, those things will open up eventually. And it looked really good tonight. The offense looks great. Let's go on to the next one, which actually is something else we said was a box that they needed to check, and that was rely on that offensive line to have a good performance. And they continued to be a good offensive line tonight. They looked great 99% of the game. Of course, you're not going to win every matchup against a good defensive line, but for 99% of the game, they were in control.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett is a handful coming off that right side. Orlando Brown, he had a few missteps tonight. You know, there was one time he tried to get out there and punch him on contact, and he just kind of whiffed on him. Shaq Barrett's fast, but he come back the next play, and him and Tooney settled in there, and they were going to do a little stunt play. They both waited on it. Yeah, OBJ knocks him out, and Mahomes takes off up the left side, gets the first down. I thought they
Yeah,
looked really good.
I think for each play that he missed, he had a pancake, so it wasn't a big deal. Actually, one of the sacks that Mahomes took, he should have had the ball out of his hand way before that. So really, that could have been, Orlando Brown thinking that the play he didn't need to hold that block for that long or whatever it might be. But yeah, the offensive line looked great. Joe Tooney played excellent. He had a great night. They were relying on him big time. They ran in behind him several times. But, this just goes hand in hand with another point that we made. We said they have to get a run game established. And the Chiefs, for once in the last 2 years, decided to get a run game established. And they weren't doing the delayed handoff, RPO crap. They were smashing them in the mouth and using our offensive line to do what they are built to do. And it showed, man. It was
Dude,
great.
these two guys right here have been begging to use this offensive line and just road grade these defensive fronts. And Tampa Bay has a monstrous defensive front, and we made them look silly tonight. For a team that only gives up 80 yards on the ground, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 19 carries for 92 yards, and he averaged 4.8 on the ground, which means every 2 carries, we're chunking off a first down. Pacheco, 11 carries, 63 yards, averaging 5.7. Mahomes even scrambled, got out of the pocket. He had 4 rushes for 34 yards. But yes, they looked very decisive. They got downhill, they hit the hole. Both backs ran hard. Pacheco looked like a madman out there, man. It looked like somebody set his uniform on fire, and
Man,
he was trying to hit somebody to put it out.
him and Clyde both. I was, saying during the game, I'm like, man, they are getting an extra 2 or 3 yards every carry, even after contact. They are pushing the pile. They're running with a purpose. They're running hard. They weren't having to sit in the backfield for a second and a half before they took the handoff. They knew where they were going. The offensive line was opening up the holes and they were hitting them, man. And it was a beautiful thing.
Dude, I know people get tired of hearing, hey, man, we got Patrick Mahomes. Why do you want to run the ball so much? Why do you want to run the ball so much? You take heat off of the offensive line, and you take heat off the receivers to get open, and you take heat off Mahomes to be able to have a game like he had tonight, all from establishing the run. If Andy Reid commits to this run, you see how this offense just stepped it up a notch. We were 30 points better than this team than what the scoreboard showed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It looked way closer than it was because of some garbage time stuff. Also, we said this time and time again, these games like this, you have to get out to a big lead or else the referees will keep it close and it could screw you in the end. And you have to look back at it. Seven of Tom Brady's points came after a completely missed intentional grounding call. I don't know how in the world they just acted like that didn't happen. And then they scored after that. Another one came after Juan Thornhill made that great play in the end zone and they threw a BS flag on him. That couldn't have been a cleaner hit. That was absolutely perfectly executed. And I want Juan Thornhill to make that hit 100% of the time. That was an idiotic flag. NFL's got to do something about these referees, man. They just suck.
Dude, I was so confused. So basically, they're just saying that because Mike Evans sucks and dropped the ball, Thornhill wasn't allowed to touch him. Whereas
Right.
if I'm Juan Thornhill, I can't wait to see if he catches the ball. I'm trying to hit him and jar the ball loose.
That's what I was saying. If he caught the ball and then got hit and dropped the ball, that would have been a no call. That would have been a good play. But the fact that he didn't catch the ball made it a penalty. Like that's just silly. I
Hey,
mean,
let's be honest. If he would have caught the ball and he'd have hit him and jarred the ball loose, they'd have still called it.
they would have called something stupid. I
They
don't
would have called it.
understand. They did try to keep them in there quite a bit, but it just wasn't happening because the Chiefs were just dominant tonight. They were definitely the better team on the field.
Yeah, so let's get to point number 4, QB pressure. We got after Tom Brady tonight. Tom Brady did look pretty good, though. Let's be honest. 39 for 52. He had 385 yards, passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He only took 1 sack, and that was off that great L'Jarius Sneed blitz. Sneed's been killing it with that blitz all year. Somebody's
Yeah,
going to have to pick him up off the
man.
corner. He's going to kill somebody.
If he could cover the ball the way he blitzes, he would be the best cornerback in the league.
Yeah, but Brady, I mean, we had him uncomfortable. He did drop back in the pocket 52 times tonight, whereas they didn't establish a run game because we got early, an early lead. They only had 6 carries from their running backs, dude. You can't have that and win a game, which is why we say Andy Reid and them's got to run the ball. You can't be so one dimensional. So, yeah, Tom Brady to drop back 52 times and still put up a 114.7 QB rating against that fast, athletic defensive front that we brought tonight. Pretty good game by Tom. I must say he just, their offense, it just don't look very good. He'll get them together.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, man, I thought our defensive line got after him. I thought they made him uncomfortable. They were being held all night. They only got a few holding calls on him, but Jones was getting held the majority of the night. I thought Karlaftis looked pretty good. He come right out of the gate and just blew up a play in the backfield. I said he was going to have a big night. I don't know if he got the MVP, but he showed up tonight. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but I would like to see the defensive front, the four there, get more pressure by themselves. Spags did have to put out a lot of different blitz packages tonight to get constant pressure on Brady, which is why he was having such a successful night, to be honest, because Brady gets rid of the ball fast anyway. So he was kind of picking that blitz apart when he had a second to do it. But I'm not saying the defensive front played bad. Like Chris Jones had a really good game. Frank Clark even made some really good plays, getting some pressure on the quarterback, but they were getting held like crazy. I'm glad they finally called that one where Chris Jones, it was just too obvious not to call, but Frank Clark was dealing with it all night too. I watched it the whole time, and it's just they played a good game. I'm excited about how this defense looks.
So when they finally called the hold there on Chris Jones, and then the play before, they called the illegal pick play on Godwin, which was
Yeah,
obviously a pick. Chris
right.
Collinsworth was crying in the booth up there, like begging for him tonight. How are you
I
going to call
called it.
that?
I called it when it happened. I was like, they just ran a
Dude,
pick play, and then the flag came out. If I could see it from the TV, that guy's just an
dude,
idiot.
Ray Charles could see that dude was setting a
Yeah,
pick. Like, come on, he wasn't running no route. So Chris Collinsworth's an idiot. Other than
yeah.
that, though, yeah, did you see Brady like crying to the officials? Like, he is not used to not getting every call that kills him. But yeah,
No.
I thought that was funny and satisfying. But let's move on to last one, number 5. We said Andy Reid had to make some in-game adjustments. Well, you know what? Tonight wasn't a lot of in-game adjustments to be made because it was a good game plan and we executed.
Yeah, game planning was great. I kind of often wondered, did Andy, you know, pull the play calling away from Bieniemy and take it over himself tonight because it looked like a totally different thing out there, or vice versa. I don't know, but they were running the ball uh, full steam ahead. It wasn't as many RPOs and things like that. But yeah, I don't think they needed a lot of in-game adjustment, but I will give them their props. on recognizing that and not trying to get too cute, and they just kept doing what was working. Um, so I mean, at least if they're going to be stubborn to keep doing things that don't work, they notice, hey, we can keep doing what does work.
You know, I am going to give them credit because when they went to the half, we were only up by what, 10 points at half, maybe something like that. I can't remember off
Yeah,
the top of my head. It was a close game at that point, but we come out in the second half. We kept the pedal down. We stuck to the run,
yeah.
and we did the stuff that we worked with in the first half. So by not making an adjustment and keeping it, I will say that is an in-game adjustment for Andy Reid. He didn't try to outcute himself, and I'll take that. And so I think we checked off all five boxes, and that's why the Chiefs were dominant. And me and Stevie over here will take our royalty check for the week, guys.
Yeah, I don't remember what I predicted the score to be, but I said that Travis Kelsey would have two touchdowns and 120 yards. I think he had over 100 in a touchdown. Didn't get that
Uh,
second touchdown.
Kelsey had 9 for 92 and a touch.
Oh, I was close. I was so close. Final score, I think I had 38-17 or something like that.
Yep.
Uh, that was
So
the score at one point. I think I was like, if they'll stop the game right here at the end of the third quarter, I got this right.
thankfully they didn't stick to what I had predicted. I'd actually thought that we'd come out and look kind of flat and they would kind of beat that hurricane thing into the ground, which they didn't really do. I'll give them credit for that. They didn't try to play on that all night. But yeah, I thought overall, I thought our wide receivers look really good. MVS, Juju, they finally used both of them. They tried to get Sky Moore involved. Did you know Sky Moore had 4 targets tonight?
And he
They
looked
actually
good.
tried to, yes. So they really did everything. The one guy I feel sorry for is Miko. I feel like he's getting left out, and Mahomes missed him on a wide open
Oh,
ball where
goodness.
Mahomes just comes out and he looks the dude down the whole play, never looks off of him. He actually, his eyes and watching him the whole play actually gets Miko open. He don't even look back. So
Right.
that was reminiscent of Miko in like that game against the Bengals where they just went throwing the ball. I'm afraid Miko's getting shut out here, and this may be the end for Miko and KC if he can't somehow get it together. And it's not even all his fault. Let's be honest.
Dude, I think it was Collinsworth that said they missed a layup in the end zone. That doesn't even describe it. It was ridiculous. Like it was a
No.
slam dunk. Dude was standing in the end zone all alone.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, Steve, give me a couple players you thought stood out tonight in this big win.
Yeah, I think one of the most key players was Travis Kelsey, but I'm gonna say someone that really jumped off the screen to me tonight was Isaiah Pacheco. He was running with a purpose. That guy is a madman. Just fast. He's so fast. He even looked good in the kick returning game. I think he definitely jumped off the screen if you go on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, I think that Rashad Fenton made a couple decent plays. I would like to see him tackle better. I'm not big on the just walking up and grabbing somebody's jersey when you hit somebody, but he played decent. L'Jarius Sneed played decent. Thornhill had a good game. I was glad to see Justin Reed come back off that injury and come back at halftime. He cleared concussion protocol and all that, so that was good. But yeah, I think as far as defensive side of the ball, I would just have to go with the full on defense, man. They all looked good. There wasn't just one player. Everybody was doing their part. They were blitzing great. They were covering great. I mean, there's some pitch and catch here and there, but that's going to happen, especially with Tom Brady on his own.
Yeah, I think I'd give players of the game. I think I would go as a whole and just give it to the run game. I think the offensive line, the running backs in general, Pacheco and Clyde both look good. I like that. I want to give it to the big uglies. I want to give it to the backs back there that work hard. If I had to go receiver, I loved what Juju did, but I thought MVS stepped up tonight. There had been some talk around KC of him being benched. He did drop one ball there
It
late,
was a bad drop.
but other than that, he looked pretty decent. He created 2 long plays tonight, and if I had to go on the defensive line looked pretty good. I'll give him that. I think Chris Jones was dominant all night. I think he'd have had a lot more disruption if he wouldn't have been getting held like this for 99% of the play. But Steve don't like this, but I do. He says Jalen Watson got beat up all night. You know what? I think Jalen Watson done decently well. He matched up on one of the top elite wide receivers in this game, and I know Evans had a night, but there was times Evans was pushing off. He always gets away with pushing off. That is
Yeah.
a clear push off, man. He creates separation. He got beat on that little back shoulder fade bump from the backup tight end. But you know what? I don't think anybody could have covered that any better. It was a perfect throw and a perfect catch. I think Jalen Watson held his own. I mean, I'm going to have to go back and look at the film. Um, I could be wrong here. I don't know. I'm going to go back and examine the film, and that's what tomorrow's show is going to
He
be,
wasn't
actually.
bad. He wasn't bad, but it wasn't his best night. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, so yeah, tomorrow's show we're going to do that. We're going to break down the game a little bit more. We're going to pick a few plays. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for the night, man. Big win. I just like that
Huge
we
win.
bounced back. We bounced back.
Yeah. How about those Chiefs, baby? Beat the Bucks.
We did. We did.
We beat the Bucks. I hate the Bucks so much. You can tell Mahomes was not going to lose tonight. He was back in that stadium, and it was just all the bull crap for the last 2 years. He's been waiting for that one, man. He's been waiting for it.
Dude, he looked possessed. And dude, Isaiah Pacheco ran mean. He
Yeah, he
looked
did.
like, dude, that dude scared me a little bit. I looked in his eyes and I seen death. He was coming for it.
Yeah, and let's just end on this note. You saw glimpses tonight of what this team can be, and they are just getting started. So be excited, Chiefs Kingdom, because it could be a great year for us if we just keep the ball rolling. People keep getting better. These young guys are getting more experience. I mean, it could be a big year for us. It really could.
Yeah, Steve, you got anything else?
No, guys, just thanks for liking, subscribing, hitting that bell. Super thanks over 4.99. We'll send you out some stickers and some keychains. And that's all we got for you tonight. We will be back tomorrow with some more in-depth look at the game, maybe some game tape, stuff like that. So make sure to be here and join us.
See you guys. Enjoy this win, baby. Victory Monday.
Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.